Hey, what's up, y'all? Mike here with the watch list video for Monday, August 21st. Let me start with this. All right, there you go. Brief summary of what I do. I'll give you the Cliff's Notes version. I focus on in-play stocks, right? Recent high flyers, recent gappers, and I make my money between the opening and closing bell, only using, and you can pause the video if you need to read that whole thing, only using A-plus intraday setups that we teach. If I don't get an A-plus setup, I don't trade. I hate to sound like a broken record, but the SPY, the overall market, I should say, is a very terrible trading environment right now. There's just no volume, and things are just chopping sideways. So there's very few setups, but the good news is that never lasts. There will be some volume coming back and some volatility again. The SPY did gap down on Friday, but then went out pretty close to its highs, but there still was not a lot of intraday opportunities. What are the stocks I'm going to be watching on Monday for hopefully some A-plus setups intraday, right? Let's start with ETON, which had, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, had a big 3-day run and a couple-day pullback and a nice bounce on Friday. We're going to see if that bounce can continue on Monday. AAOI, also a recent high flyer, right? Really strong, and now a few days down in a row. Topped at 1324 on Friday, so that number may come into play. We'll see. I'm definitely going to be watching that one on Monday for a move back up. EVLV had the breakout, pulled back to support. It was on bounce watch. A lot of these stocks were on bounce watch coming into Friday, and I still didn't find trades in them because things were so dead. But EVLV did bounce like we kind of expected it to. I'm looking for a follow through of that bounce on Monday. This is my sleeper pick, VCIG. I have to like zoom in so you can kind of see a little bit better, but popped back here, which is about a week ago, to 470, and then on Friday hit 449. So it is interesting over maybe 450 on Monday. We'll see if we get a setup. GNS had a nice 2-day pop here, maybe 3 or 4 day, right? And then pulled back, but a nice reversal back to the upside on Friday. So you've got a potential run maybe to the 200-day, which is around $1.60, and then the most recent high was right here around $1.70 something. So I do want to watch that one. It had almost round tripped from the run, and so I kind of took it off my radar. But then that kind of solid bounce on Friday with a little extra volume puts it right back on my radar. All right, RGTI. Had a nice run, came back down, a nice lower high, came back down, but also put in a higher low. It's in that quantum computing space, and that IONQ, which kind of leads that space, bounced on Friday as well. So anyway, I'm going to look for a possible move higher on Monday. I'm going to give you a couple numbers. Let's see, Thursday's high was 209 and Friday's high 209. So a possible break of that 209 could send this one higher. So that's kind of an interesting area, right? PSFE was on bounce watch. Another one that I had on bounce watch going into Friday. It did bounce, but put in a really narrow range. Gave no kind of setup. Never took a trade in it, but maybe it continues on Monday. Sorry, ACHR. Figure out how to draw a line real quick here if I can. Trend line right there. You can kind of see. That didn't work. Anyway. There, I kind of drew a trend line there. You can kind of see it could break out over this area. I don't like the fact that it closed so far off its highs, though, on Friday. But I still want to watch it, all right? TSAT is another one I had on bounce watch. Gave a nice reversal on Friday, but still gave me no setup. I could argue a quiet entry, maybe, over the early high right there, but I was watching it, and there was just no volume, there was no liquidity, so even then I couldn't touch it. But it did top out at exactly the whole number 15, so that does make it a little bit more interesting, maybe through 15, especially with some volume on Monday. APRN, well, it did come up and touch the 200-day. I like the fact that it had a high back here of 1049, the horizontal line right there, and then Friday's high 920. So maybe a break of Friday's high. Maybe it makes a run to that. We'll see. And then VFS, I'm going to put on bounce watch. Had a huge move, and then 2 days down basically for a round trip, but then buyers came in. That's where that little bottoming tail came from. So I'm definitely going to keep this one on bounce watch because this thing can move, right? So VFS goes on bounce watch. And that's it for me. We'll add gappers in the pre-market. Hopefully we find something with some kind of story behind it, with some kind of volume, and make some money on Monday. All right, I'm done babbling. We'll see you in chat.